Or he had like ace queen 10 for the wrap. A lot of hands like that. Oh, here we go. Here's another bluff spot. I expect it to go fold. I got raised. Okay, I'm just gonna fold that. Yeah. So I gave Rakoslav a good opportunity to bluff because that's if I had the thing is if I had a high there like a king jack or something, he if he puts me on two pair, it's a pretty decent river to be bluffing, because especially if he ships it, a lot of people end up folding there. I obviously was not folding when I made the flush and had a low, and he can't put me on that very often either. But given that it was a king jack deuce two diamond flop, and I bet out, and he called, he's definitely drawing at a high. Like that's either has a high already, like ace king or something, or or he's drawing at a high. It's very obvious. And given that it came runner runner lows, there's no value in betting, and only value in hoping that he can bluff there. As much as I wanted to bet for value, I don't think that he could call, and I think that he could bluff and put pressure on me, and that's why I elected to take that route instead. On 6 deuce ace 5 8 5, I'm gonna actually be three betting. Not a great hand, not a bad hand. Oof, keep forgetting that's no limit. Um, for how tight people are playing and they're just calling, I think that I'm just gonna be getting quite a bit of credit here, and people just keep getting put aces anytime they're three betting pretty much. And Rakoslav elects to call, which is strange. He's either gonna have already a queen or all the straight draws, or maybe kings. Um, Probably not aces, maybe jacks, and I'm just giving up. Or so I thought. If I get checked over, no, he ships, and I'm definitely folding. It's a really bad ship by him, unless he was just trying to bet pot, and yeah, because even if I have aces there, I'm not calling. That wouldn't make any sense. Ace, king, jack, eight. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to try and play a lot of pots. And I'm just going to start putting crazy pressure on people. That is a good hand to bluff. Yes, there's low possibilities, but anytime. Okay, so I'm repping already a made straight. The only way they can really raise is if they have a made straight. Um, and anytime the turn comes either a board pair or a big card like that, I feel like they can't really do much about it. So I'm going to be betting again, expecting that now I have the best hand, expecting that. And now I am going to be check calling. Man, I do have the best hand. And rightfully so, expecting that I had the best hand. I think this is an okay board to just jam on now. Um, Given that they might expect me to scoop them a lot, so they might just not call, which is why I bet there. I had absolute fucking shit, but people are really scared to call on boards like that sometimes if they have like the second low or third low, just because what the low is there is the high and the low, and then they get quartered and they have to call two streets, and that's why they bet. I'm going to be betting here very small because I have no value and hoping that he completely whiffed. Obviously, if I get raised or he calls, I'm forced to give up. And he raised, so I fold. Queen 8 6 7. I'm gonna continue to play as many pots as I can. Jack 10 7 deuce. I'm gonna be potting. As horrible as that is, I expect to win this now. The blind should fold, and he does. King, queen, jack, jack. Bad high-low hand. However, the way I play, I think I can make it work. Obviously, I'm going for straight high. And I get called. So we have a low draw. I think bluffing here is really bad. I think maxing here is really good, and I think bluffing here once again is bad. I'm checking just yeah, any bets out, and I think that's an awful call off. So I'm just gonna fold. People that are calling out a position normally had at least an ace in his hand, if not an ace plus a low. Even if it was a bad low plus an ace, I get scooped, you know. And there's just no possibility for me to do anything there. Raising's awful, calling's awful. Queen, queen, seven, betting. I actually probably could have bet a little bit bigger, just making it so none of those guys could have bluffed me. That's the kind of board where they have to have a queen to continue or sevens. So I do elect to bluff that board. That was what you would call a lockdown board, which we haven't had too many of. And they are much more fun to play. Fold. Jack, jack, seven, deuce. I'm just gonna fold. It's a really bad hand, but I know I'm saying I'm trying to play as many pots as possible to show you guys. 6 2 7 3. Why not? We'll get in there with that hand. Hope for the 4 5 flop. King Queen 4. Out of position. I'm just gonna check it and see what happens. There's a lead. And I'm gonna end up folding. If it checked around, which it does a lot of the times on boards like that, and the turn came like a jack, a king, a queen, or four or something, then I might bet. Okay, and I have a legit hand. Ace, ace, king, nine. Great high hand, no low possibility. Still a good hand for high-low, just for how often other people don't have ace deuce or whatnot, so they can most of the time are just playing high. Gonna be three betting. Queen deuce 5-3. I'm enjoying putting Rakoslav into spots. Oofda. King 9-5. No lows. I'm just going to be betting large. I don't have any shot at basically anything. And he decides to check jam on me. Checking. That was a bad turn. And I'm going to just fold against Rakoslav. And auto up. Dizzle decides to bet. This is pretty dangerous to be calling in this spot. I think a lot of the time he's gonna have a low draw with either a really good high draw or already made two pair or already made set with a low draw. And I'm gonna be in big trouble. Rakoslav decides to call. That would actually be a really good river for me to jam. Ooh, wow, pair of eights takes it. Holy shit. So he had the nut hearts, pair of eights, low draw. So I'm actually surprised he checked that back, given that you had to have a high to win that pot. That was a pretty bad check back by him, to be honest, because he's just gonna lose there to like a better pair that could have never called. I'm gonna be betting here. I can scoop him a lot if he decides to call with the 3-4, and he raises. I have backdoors. I have the 3-4 low. I think calling is best. Jamming is pretty awful. That's a pretty bad card, and that makes it so I have to check fold, given that he raised the flop. Yeah.